Eriksen, Scott McTominay. Sam Murray is playing left-back for Manchester United. Jadon Sancho onto the pitch too, and Ethan Wheatley up front. So it is 10 outfield changes for Manchester United, despite the changes that were enforced in the first 45 minutes, Ben.
Yeah, Johnny Evans will partner Will Fish. James Scanlon right back, Sam Murray left back. And just in front of them will be Oyedele, Eriksen, and then Sancho, Anthony, Scott McTominay. All in behind Ethan Wheatley, who was remarkable last season for the goals that he scored. Just his general play, speed.
Punched away by Andre Onana convincingly. Had to get there, and he's done absolutely that.
Yeah, that's been the one constant, hasn't it, in the 3 games that we've seen, is that the keeper doesn't change. The 10 outfield players do, but the goalkeeper stays the same.
Ben White with the throw, flicked on by Ethan Wheatley. Lifted back into the penalty area. Johnny Evans guards that all the way back to Andre Onana. So, along with Johnny Evans, out on the right-hand side, you've got Will Fish. Now, not seen too much of Will Fish in recent seasons at Manchester United. Spent the last couple of seasons out on loan. Actually did a great job with Hibs. Got them qualified for Europe the first season he was with them, and then went back and really sort of nailed down a position up in Scotland. That's what you would call a successful loan spell for Will Fish. That's a lovely turn from Andre Onana. No palpitations, I promise. Ball's out of play from Zinchenko.
Yeah, one of my ex-teammates from when I played up at Aberdeen was the assistant manager at Hibernian, Jamie McAllister. He's now coaching out in Brunei, actually. He spoke to me about Will Fish, and he was really pleased with him.
You can see why, can't you? Got the ability, no doubt about that. Out it comes, left-hand side for Arsenal. Trying to find a way through. Oh, that's a ball that may get lucky, but well read by Sam Murray. He didn't see the offside flag, but it has gone up. Will be a Manchester United free kick. Ben White tripping the offside trap.
Yeah, he was.
Not
offside. Oh, he was there.
There.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Andre Onana getting ready to launch this one downfield. Johnny Evans has come short. Will Fish gives another option out to the right-hand side. Through it comes to Maxi Oyedele. Maxi, another one of those that's come through this Manchester United academy. He's a Salford-born player. Come through the academy, all the way through the academy again. Picked up dead early by Manchester United. 8 or 9 years old. Actually qualifies to play for Poland, Maxi Oyedele, despite being born in Salford.
Yep.
Oh, that's a lovely ball through to Trossard. The offside flag goes up again. Offside, Ben?
Yeah, he was, yeah. He was. I mean, you don't...
It's tight, isn't it? That's really tight. That's why I asked the question. I wasn't entirely convinced that Trossard had actually gone too early.
I don't think the officials were either, to be fair. I think he was just erring on the side of caution.
Ethan Wheatley trying to put a bit of pressure on. Absolutely vitally important to the success that the under-18s had last season, and was given his just desserts by becoming the 250th Manchester United Academy graduate to go from academy to first team. Bruno Fernandes spent the best part of 10 minutes trying to set him up on his debut as well. spoke to Ethan Wheatley after that game and said, did you know that Bruno was trying to set you up for 10 minutes? He went, oh yeah, it was the first thing he told me when I came on. He said, I've got 10 minutes to get you a goal. Not like pressure like that, is there? Bruno Fernandes goes on trying to set you up for your debut goal for Manchester United.
Well, there's certainly more of a mix in this half. I mean, you've got the experience of Christian Eriksen, Scott McTominay, Johnny Evans, Anthony out there, Sancho. How can they help these youngsters on this pitch in this second half when a fair bulk of the players that Arsenal came out with in the first half are still on the field?
Arsenal just gone out a little more direct in the opening stages of this first half. United trying to push out as quick as they can, trying to keep a little bit of pressure on the ball.
Yeah, just trying to feel the way into the half, aren't they? I think it's certainly told the number of changes that United have made. It's Arsenal that have started on the front foot in this second half.
Often is the case, isn't it, when you make this many changes, that it just takes 5 or 10 minutes to find your rhythm.
Yeah, just disrupts your rhythm. It's exactly what it does.
The fact that there's probably no rhythm to start with because they haven't been playing, that's probably the key. Odegaard. Sancho chasing back to get to Ben White, who starts another run forward. Odegaard comes central.
And just to compound that a little bit more, Arsenal towards the end of that first half, last 15 minutes, were starting to find theirs.
That's a neat ball forward to Trossard. Back it comes to Odegaard. Lube Mahand. Odegaard. Well won by Anthony. Has to go around the outside, is felled for his troubles, and the free kick is Manchester United.
Yeah, it was saw one straight into the thigh. Dead leg. Oh yeah, the left leg did come out, didn't it? They catch you in the right spot, they can be really painful.
Salah-Eddin Lube Mahand making the challenge on Anthony. It's a foul the other way.
Yeah, eagerness to try and win the ball back. James Scanlon, he's got Jorginho going exactly where he wants him, back towards his own goal. Doesn't need to foul him.
James Scanlon played 12 under-18s games last season, and in those 12 under-18s games, 8 goals and 3 assists. It's not a bad return, is it? He also has 4 full senior international caps for Gibraltar, as the offside flag goes up. And Thornley, if we had commentary box cam, you'd see every time there's an offside, Ben's right hand is lifted.
I'm not always right, as we've seen.
I think you're running at 75% today. That's not bad. Well, it's better than the officials.
He was trying to come back, wasn't it? And do you know what? Again, I'm not so sure whether Sam Murray on the far side could have been playing him on. There's been some very contentious decisions in this game, not more so than the goal that Arsenal have scored, but there'd have been a few more that would have been looked at had play been allowed to continue.
So I was saying 4 full international caps, James Scanlon, for Gibraltar. Name another Manchester United player.
Yes, I can. I think I can.
Go on then.
Danny Higginbotham.
Yes, Ben Thornley. Wonderful bit of trivia, and Ben Thornley gets it straight away. Was it ever in doubt? A lovely guy Danny Higginbotham is as well. Doing great work doing his media work over in the States at the moment.
Yeah. Great lad.
Yeah, good guy. Headed up in the air by Arsenal. Manchester United trying to win this back. Oyedele knocks it forward towards Anthony. Scanlon just runs himself into a blind alley. Oyedele steps in and makes the challenge. He is the kind of player, Maxi Oyedele, that will just keep Manchester United ticking over. He's a metronome. He basically brings the ball in and immediately wants to get it redistributed. 1- and 2-touch football.
Well, that's the best way to do it when you first come into the team, and certainly against this Arsenal side. If you're controlling it and moving the ball, it means that you've got it all figured out inside your head, what your next move's going to be. And if you're keeping the ball as a midfielder, and certainly as a youngster, that's all the manager can ask of you.
Karl Hein.
Nobody will chastise you for keeping the ball ever.
Down the right-hand side, it was over-ambitious, though, from Arsenal, and is tidied up by the Northern Irishman, Johnny Evans. Given another year by Manchester United, there is no way that Johnny Evans would have expected to have played as much football as he did last season. And he absolutely deserves the contract extension that he's been given in his second spell with Manchester United. Not too many of those that get 2 opportunities at United. Tom Heaton, there's another one.
Yeah.
Cristiano Ronaldo, there's another one.
I have to say, he did put in some sterling performances last season, Johnny Evans, and as you quite rightly say, thoroughly deserves it.
The assist that he put in for Bruno Fernandes early last season, still probably my favourite assist. Yeah. Fantastic assist and just a brilliant goal from Bruno Fernandes. This is Will Fish. That's the ball upfield. He's looking for Anthony, but can't quite complete that pass. Christian Eriksen onto the field. How great was it to see him score at the Euros? Brilliantly well for Denmark. His record, by the way, for his country is absolutely unbelievable. Christian Eriksen. Leandro Trossard. He plays, of course, for a struggling Belgium side in international tournaments. Definitely haven't achieved what they should have done.
No.
Oh, this is good football from Arsenal. Real opportunity. Big save. Andre Onana punches it over the top, puffs out his chest. That is a fine stop from Manchester United number 24.
Well, the save that he made in the first half from Nwaneri was really good, even though the offside flag went up. There was no danger of the offside flag going up here. He's a clever player, Trossard. I said that in the first half. I think what Arsenal paid for him and the player that they got, I think was a real bargain, and he is a clever player who will score you goals, but that is a sensational save again from Andre Onana.
Captain's armband on as well. Here comes the corner. Swung in, headed up in the air by Will Fish. Needs tidying up, which is done by Johnny Evans. Nelson. Twisting and turning. He's got Maxi Oyedele and Jadon Sancho jockeying. Anthony is out on the left-hand side because Sancho has taken up this right-hand side position. Neat turn in the penalty area, but it's stabbed away by Manchester United, blocked off by Oyedele, worked forward by Jadon Sancho. Can't find Scott McTominay. Wheatley chasing. The real feature of the under-18s last season was just how hard they worked both in and out of possession. You will see relentless running from them. Scanlon scampering after Nelson. Lube my hand. This is Martin Odegaard. Worked forward by Jurrien Timber to Ben White. Timber to Odegaard. Lifted out to the left-hand side, and Nelson infield to Alexander Zinchenko. Tries a clever lifted ball into the penalty area, but it's cleared away. Out goes Eriksen, tries to get a toe on it. Oyedele just lays it back to Will Fish, and Manchester United can get this away with Sam Murray.
We've got to the hour mark, and United have... I can't remember one meaningful attack that they've had in this second half. It's pretty much been all Arsenal. Some of the key figures we've already mentioned: Eriksen, Scott McTominay, Anthony, Sancho, and they just haven't been able to get on the ball.
Here is Jadon Sancho. He's going to try a meaningful attack down the right-hand side. What can he do from this position? Has to lay it off because he's got 3 Arsenal players around him. Manages to find the pass to Oyedele. Keeps it ticking over. Wheatley's going to smash it across goal and turned away. Big header comes in. There's an Arsenal player down here. Gabriel Jesus doing his defensive work, and he maybe just gets knocked off balance.
It's a corner though, surely.
Yeah,
100%. Just at that moment, they sprung into a little bit of life, Jadon Sancho. As we see Arsenal ready to make a whole bunch of substitutions.
Christian Eriksen. Absolute wonder of a right foot as well, Christian Eriksen, when he gets it right. Swung in. That's a great ball into the box too. Comes all the way through to the far side, and Jadon Sancho.
Skimmed off his head, didn't it, Scott McTominay, as he made the run.
Oyedele goes on the overlap. Sancho can't find him. Murray goes all the way back to James Scanlon. Scanlon sees it open up, and he's going to take the advantage of that space. Manages to get a great pass out to Anthony. Anthony chops back onto his left foot, and that left-footed effort, it's a favourite of his, isn't it? Chopping back onto that left foot, tries to get that curling shot away, lifts it over the bar.
That's what the manager thought of it, but I'm pretty sure that that clap was also for James Scanlon. His first touch out of his feet was the one that set him on his way, and then he accelerated away. Maybe Anthony should have kept going on the outside, but he does love to cut in on his left foot.
Josh Nichols, Thomas Partey, Jorginho and White making way. We're also going to see Miles Lewis-Skelly. He played against Bournemouth in Arsenal's first pre-season game of the season. On 2 comes Fabio Vieira. Trossard making way. Timber making way. So raft of changes for Arsenal, and the experienced Thomas Partey, the dangerous one in there. Need to keep an eye on him. And very skillful Lewis-Skelly. United are just going to have to keep him as quiet as they possibly can for the next half an hour.
Yeah, and Fabio Vieira, he's a clever player, really good feet.
Well intercepted by Johnny Evans, read that well, didn't he? Got himself out of trouble, helped out by Sam Murray. Goalkeeper's just going to dive on top of that and snuff out the danger. So Miles Lewis-Skelly, in case you wanted to know, is another one of those players that's come through this Arsenal academy right from the very beginning. He was at the Hale End Academy at under 9s, and he's now 17 years old and playing for the first team on a pre-season tour. One of a few actually that Arsenal have taken with them, obviously with players playing in South America and Upper America in the Euros. Means that you've got players still on holiday, very similar to Manchester United. Still waiting for players to come back from holidays after successful international tournaments.
Yeah, they're pretty much missing the same number, aren't they?
Manchester United without the likes of Kobbie Mainoo and Luke Shaw, who of course made it all the way through to the final with England. Bruno Fernandes, Josh Zirkzee,
Diogo Dalot, Pellistri, Garnacho, Martinez.
There's a few.
Maybe United are missing a few more than Arsenal then, in that case.
Work forward again, Odegaard, edge of the penalty area. Good tackle from Johnny Evans. And he's picked the pass too. Scott McTominay now charging forward for Manchester United. Ethan Wheatley making the run. He wanted it slipped through, didn't get it. Finds Anthony. Anthony going to slip this back to Scott McTominay. McTominay gets the ball across, and it's just behind Ethan Wheatley and smashed away by Karl Hein. Oyedele picks up the ball. All of a sudden a little more promising for Manchester United, like all of a sudden they found their rhythm after 20 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, good break from Scott McTominay. He found himself in acres of room to run at the Arsenal back line. thought at one stage he was just going to slip it through. Ethan Wheatley had made a really good run through the centre, and with his pace you would have fancied him to have got on the end of it. He opted for Anthony, who slipped the ball down the outside to Wheatley. Probably needed a little bit more presence in the box.
Scored some huge goals for the under-18s last season, Ethan Wheatley. The under-18s Premier League Cup final, playoff final against Chelsea. Ethan Wheatley, really important, those goals, to secure the League and Cup double.
I'm not quite sure what... I'm not so sure that Thomas Partey realised that Christian Eriksen was up behind him.
Didn't read that Anthony was waiting there as well, and Scott McTominay's up to the edge of the penalty area again. I tell you what, that's a foul on the edge of the penalty area. Referee hasn't given it. Scott McTominay claiming for it, and he's got every right to be claiming for it too, Ben.
Yeah, I think that was a foul. I think he was deliberately caught as he was about to strike that ball. The officials have been poor, I have to say. For both teams, I think the officials have been poor.
We should preface this with the fact that Ben doesn't like officials.
No. I just think that they've not been great.
Gabriel Jesus into the penalty area. Cross comes Johnny Evans. Keeps his feet as well. The man from Belfast. Poor from Anthony, though, as he's trying to find the pass forward to Ethan Wheatley.
Yeah, because Johnny Evans had fancied a bit of a jaunt there, hadn't he, as well? He'll be disappointed it was given away so cheaply, because it's a great piece of defending.
He was on the way, wasn't he, Johnny?
Yeah, coming across on the cover, and not just that, but keeping control and getting your team on the move again. Reading of the game, brilliant.
Gabriel. Remember that game, September of last year, Manchester United away at Arsenal. And Gabriel had found it relatively straightforward, hadn't he, for most of the game, and then all of a sudden Rasmus Højlund came on for United in the second half and give him a couple of proper frights as we got towards the closing stages of that one. There was one where Gabriel, for me, hands down, given away a penalty, and it wasn't given, and all of a sudden he was a little concerned by the pace and power of Manchester United's number 9. Here's Nelson, dispossessed, then pulls Anthony down, gives the foul away.
Yeah, he's lively, isn't he, Reiss Nelson? There's one where he was, who's not on the pitch anymore, but he is lively, Reiss Nelson. I mean, that's a foul.
Hard to argue that it's not, really. It's a good tackle from Johnny Evans, and then Anthony making the most of the contact to win the free kick. And pull somebody back by the shoulder. There's always get given. Sam Murray. We mentioned him before, Sam Murray, but it was one of those that Manchester United picked up after Huddersfield had closed their academy, and United quick off the mark to sort of snap up Sam Murray, and he's been absolutely brilliant. Another one of those left-backs that loves to get forward, loves to try and affect the game any way that he can, loves to find the overlap or the underlapping run out on that left-hand side, and he's been so much fun to watch for the 18s and the 21s.
Yeah, really comfortable on the ball as well. Very, very gifted left foot.
That's well done too to find Scanlon. Scanlon tries to feed it through, comes out to Eriksen. Eriksen's effort is smashed into the forehead of Gabriel, and it goes behind for another Manchester United corner.
Yeah, clever ball from Anthony, just flicking it with the outside of his left foot. Scanlon was unlucky to find the run of Scott McTominay, and then Eriksen tried to whip it into that near post area.
So it's a brave header, isn't it, from Gabriel from that range from Christian Eriksen. Another 3 changes coming. First of those will be Eddie Nketiah. Gabriel Jesus that makes way. Kai Havertz onto the field for Arsenal. Martin Odegaard making way for him, and that third change will be Gabriel Martinelli. Reiss Nelson leaving the field of play.
There's a little bit of pace coming on there, isn't there?
Just a smidge. And Kai Havertz too. Well, look, you're looking at me sideways there, but Martinelli beats Kai Havertz in a foot race, hands down.
I'm not disputing that. I don't think Kai Havertz is any slouch, but Martinelli is quick.
So's Nketiah.
Yes.
They just need to be alive and aware to that situation. Make the most out of this set piece. Eriksen delivers. Oh, it's gone all the way across the face, and Ethan Wheatley's got his head in his hands. I don't think he was a million miles away from making contact with that. Jadon Sancho looking to attack from the left-hand side, is dispossessed by Fabio Vieira.
What a ball from Christian Eriksen.
Brilliant control by Sancho as well on the edge of the box, and he's going to keep going, but eventually dispossessed. Oyedele tries to put the challenge in. Arsenal have managed to get out. United trying to keep that pressure on.
It was a good challenge by Kivior, as he was at one stage he looked favourite to be wheedling his way through there. Jadon Sancho. I'd like to have another look at that chance again for Ethan Wheatley. He looked favourite, and then he sort of seemed to turn his back on it a little bit, didn't he?
I wonder whether he got a little nudge that forced him off balance. We'll find out when we get the opportunity to see a replay, but
any sort of a glance would have just nestled it in the far corner.
I agree, if he gets anything on it. I think that's why he's got his head in his hands, because he knows how close he was to getting there. Ball is lifted forward for Eddie Nketiah. Now he's got runners as well. Nketiah, edge of the penalty area, comes into Havertz, turned away by Manchester United.
Another case of what we're talking about, the surface getting stuck under your feet.
Well, I was absolutely convinced. In fact, I know for a fact that SoFi Stadium is an artificial pitch, but we've had some intel that in fact it's a grass pitch that's been freshly laid for this, which surprised me, considering they went to great lengths in 2020 when the stadium opened to show everybody how high-tech and fancy their artificial surface was. So there you go. I got it wrong in the first 45 minutes. Down the outside goes Gabriel Martinelli, absolutely rapid, gets the cross into, diving header, but brilliant interception from Christian Eriksen, a toe tip to it to turn it away from Kai Havertz.
Yeah, good break from Martinelli, that's what he gives you, especially when you're in the dying embers of games. Last 15-20 minutes, his pace is the last thing you're going to want to face, and he pulls it back into a brilliant area, but Christian Eriksen was there to get enough on it to divert it away from Kai Havertz's head.
He's done brilliantly, Christian Eriksen there. It was the absolute tip of his toe as well to keep it away from the onrushing Arsenal player. Well, we've got an interesting ending to this one. One apiece. Arsenal's equaliser very clearly offside on the replays, but they have been, on occasion, a match for this Manchester United side. They've played some good football, Arsenal.
Yeah, and they brought out the best save from Andre Onana as well, from Trossard's shot that looks like it was nestling right in the roof of the net with power. It was a brilliant save.
Bent into the penalty area, headed back across by Havertz, punched away by Andre Onana. Deflection finds Eriksen. Eriksen going to try an early one towards Jadon Sancho. Sancho looking to get there ahead of the Arsenal defenders, looks to take the touch, and just as it falls out of the sky, is beaten to it.
Youngster Josh Nichols, wasn't it, that come across from his right back berth on the cover. Showed decent pace as well, didn't it?
It was a good bit of cover and defending, wasn't it? Both sides' academies having a big part in this one. Forward again. Fish wrestling with Nketiah. Too much so, says the referee. A little bit of confusion from Manchester United centre-half.
I think it's maybe because he's got... You can get away sometimes with one arm, but when you're grappling with both arms around the front of an opponent, then
It's
9
clever.
times out of 10 referees are going to give it.
Yeah, it's clever from Nketiah too, who's definitely got a fistful of Will Fish's shirt behind his back. Martinelli is offside. Just a little bit of conversation between Jonny Evans and Will Fish, just maybe a bit of confusion that needed clearing up there.
Yeah, and I'm not convinced that he was offside when that ball was played. It's his speed, Martinelli, more than anything, and I said that these officials have not officiated this game well at all, and I think if you were to see that in VAR, he was a good 2 yards onside. He's just very quick, Martinelli.
There have been a few offside decisions that have been
not even close.
Debatable, I was going to go with.
That wasn't even close for me. But like I said, I think he's been the same for both teams. Well, they all have. Just totally indecisive and just putting the flag up because they're not sure.
Pulls all the way back with Karl Hein. Now out to the right-hand side and Josh Nichols. Kivior lifts it forwards. Jonny Evans high up the field here, trying to make a challenge. Oh, dearie me, that's going to be a sore one for Jonny Evans as the ball comes into the penalty area. That was a almighty collision. Now Jonny Evans doesn't stay down either. That one looks sore.
No, and Thomas Partey can stick the boot in where it hurts as well, and I think he was just beginning to lose control of that, wasn't it? And that's stood straight on the top of his foot, and they are painful.
It's not a great challenge, is it?
No, not at all. When you're coming over the top like that, and that's how we've seen so many occasions metatarsals going, because these boots, as fancy as they may be and as good as they look, they don't offer as much protection as they once did.
Lightweight, speed, agility, all of that.
Well, that's the downside.
Hugely, but there has to be a payoff somewhere.
Yeah.
I did hear that some players like Lionel Messi, actually have extra padding put on top of their boots to try and prevent stuff like that from happening. And you can sort of see why, can't you?
Yeah, I think it was necessary, because we went through a spate, didn't we, when we were getting metatarsal injuries for fun in the Premier League.
Technology changes and styles and fashions and function of football boots has all changed. There are always trade-offs. Anthony to Wheatley. Wheatley has a little bit of a stab at it. It's got to be a Manchester United. No, it's gone the other way. Ethan Wheatley a little disappointed. After the full-time whistle goes here at SoFi Stadium, we will have a penalty shootout. Regardless of the score, we might need a penalty shootout to decide who's going to win this game. 11 minutes to go until the full-time whistle. Lewis Skelly with the throw. Jadon Sancho just thought for a moment that there might be a sniff of an opportunity. It's a little bit nudged by Kai Havertz as he comes away. Turn from Kivior. Lewis Skelly just has to escape from Maxi Oyedele, who's closing him down. Scott McTominay is occupying a very high position at the minute, almost up alongside Ethan Wheatley. Oyedele again, just trying to get some pressure on that ball, trying to make life a little bit more tricky for Arsenal. And as I've been saying, that was a real feature of the under-18s for Manchester United last season, was the fact that they didn't give anything away to anyone for free. Everything you had to work for, and that was why they were so successful over the course of the whole of last season. Best team in that division by a long stretch. Arsenal, though, trying to make some damage here. Anthony steps in and makes the challenge. Comes out to Martinelli. And Martinelli with a lovely touch, and he's going to have a go. It's a really good finish as well from Gabriel Martinelli. Just manages to wriggle his way free, and the right-footed effort beats Andre Onana. Arsenal lead 2-1.
Yeah, and that's what pace can give you. Change of direction, low centre of gravity. Obviously James Scanlon is going to be disappointed that he's not shown him towards the touchline. He's allowed Martinelli a little bit too easily. Like I said, I know it's difficult when you are as quick as Gabriel Martinelli, and you can change direction, and he just pushes the ball and he goes, and there's not a lot you can do about that, but you can get your body in a position where you're actually forcing him to go towards the touchline, and then the angle for the shot is way too acute, and he's got to cross it. But take nothing away from Martinelli. He's that little move there, and then that burst of acceleration. And maybe Will Fish will probably be disappointed that he didn't make a better effort at the challenge when he was confronted by him. And Andre Onana was unsighted at his near post. It's a shame, but you know, pace, I said, especially when you're getting a little bit tired towards the end of games, he's difficult to mark at the best of times.
Yeah, I agree, and that little trick as well, and it's the stop go, isn't it? The rapid acceleration from Martinelli leaves Scanlon in a little bit of a position. I think it's also important to point out that if you ask James Scanlon where his preferred position was, he's not going to say right back.
Of course not. Of course not.
He is slotted in there to do a job for the team. He would much rather be playing higher up the pitch. In fact, some of his better performances for Manchester United have been in sort of a free-ranging 10 role, or an inside right, really. But he is playing right back because Manchester United need somebody to slot in that position, Ben.
Yeah, and maybe Will Fish could have got himself over a little bit sooner, knowing that, you know, as any wide player these days wants to cut in and wants to shoot, because they're, you know, inverted, aren't they? And he is right-footed, Martinelli, playing on the left-hand side, so he wants to step inside onto his more favoured foot, and maybe Will Fish could have got himself across that little bit quicker, but it was still a decent piece of wing play.
Christian Eriksen is going to try and get this into the penalty area, but he's got to deal with a bit of pushing and shoving. It's a great ball into the box too, and headed away. Well, what a beautifully floated delivery. It was absolutely begging for somebody to run onto the end of it. Eventually, it's good defending from Arsenal to get it away. Yeah,
his deliveries have been really good, and we're going to see another one now, because both his corners from this right-hand side, the outswinging corners, have been excellent. We still haven't had a look at the chance for Ethan Wheatley from his last corner. But they've been right on the money.
Short option with Antony. Doesn't take that though, floats it towards the back post. Looking for Jadon Sancho. You poured a bit too much praise on there, didn't you, Ben? Yeah. Curse of the commentator. Sancho, though, is going to drive to the byline, tries to get the cross in, and we're going to have an opportunity for a corner from the other side. The right-footed in-swinger this time from Christian Eriksen.
Yeah, I think he's going to whiz this one in.
Sancho is going to offer the short option. Referee just trying to sort out a little bit of pushing and shoving in the penalty area. Taken short to Sancho, gives it back to Eriksen. Eriksen's going to whip this one in, but it takes a big deflection. Out it goes again for another Manchester United corner.
Yeah, maybe this time Wheatley, Evans, Fish, McTominay, there's some decent height in there and strength. And with his deliveries as well, Christian Eriksen, if somebody can make a dart towards that corner of that 6-yard box with the pace of it and how flat he's putting them in, apart from that last one.
Here comes Christian Eriksen. He does whip it in. It's a dangerous one. It comes off the crossbar, I think, and he's hooked away over the head. Wow, what a delivery that is from Christian Eriksen again. Hammered clear by Arsenal. Martinelli chasing after it. Antony doing just enough, using his body really well to prevent Martinelli from getting there, and then it's a free kick to Manchester United. Here's the delivery. Look at this. Oh, that is not a million miles away from really causing Karl-Heinz some problems.
Yeah. It was quite a solid punch in the end, wasn't it, from right underneath his crossbar virtually.
So solid that I thought it was the crossbar that it had come off.
I noticed.
Thanks, Ben. Thanks for not embarrassing.
I know, I didn't correct you because I didn't know myself.
Good cock, I tell you. Try not to show me up despite my obvious flaws. 5 minutes to go. Manchester United winning 2-1. Four minutes until the end of the game, and just in case you didn't hear us earlier, there will be a penalty shootout regardless of the full-time result. Took a big quick skip off the grass, and Ethan Wheatley was chasing a little bit of a lost cause there. Rennie Harkey, Ruud van Nistelrooy, Erik ten Hag in the centre of your screen. All change in the Manchester United backroom staff. Meliten Ruvelart coming in, new goalkeeping coach. Of course, Ruud van Nistelrooy and Rennie Harkey. Saw another one announced this week as well. Georgsson comes in as another assistant manager. Darren Fletcher also helping out on the bench. It's a new backroom staff that really is focused in on getting the absolute most out of this Manchester United squad. Andre Onana forward to Sam Murray. Can't find a way through, so goes back to his goalkeeper. Direct from Andre Onana, too direct in the end, all the way through to Karl Hein. Plenty for Manchester United to take out of this 90 minutes though, Ben. Certainly the opening half an hour, some of the movement, some of the passing, some of the trouble that Manchester United caused Arsenal was really positive.
Yeah, I think that's what he'll want to focus on more than anything else, was that first half hour and how he can. I realise that the team has changed in the second half, but you know, why were Arsenal allowed to sort of get back into a game that they weren't really in at all, to be honest with you, in the first half hour? And they scored just before that, didn't they? And then they were in the ascendancy. How do you keep a firm grip of a game that was, you know, you were well in control of? That will be what Erik ten Hag is looking to build. We know that this Manchester United team, even from last season, when, you know, they fell well short of expectation, they could still put in performances were like, wow, you know, that is what they're capable of. That has just got to be on a more consistent basis, and that's what the guys that you've just been mentioning and Erik ten Hag will be working on.
Headed away. Arsenal trying to run the ball clear with Vieira. Immediately back under pressure though. United trying to win this ball back high up the field. Lovely bit of play from Maxi Oyedele before to try and win that ball back. In fact, he did brilliantly to get hold of the ball. Now Scanlon having to deal with Martinelli. In fact, they're going to double up. Oyedele trying to help out his full-back. Does a very good job too. Kind of player that Maxi Oyedele is. Anthony tries to tuck that inside to Scott McTominay, but ball clear. And through to Nketiah. Ruud Mahand tries to get the shot away. Squeezes out to Martinelli, and then the header comes in from Nketiah, but lifts it over the top of everybody in behind for a goal kick.
I think of the substitutions that Mikel Arteta's made. Martinelli that has had the biggest impact, his pace, and obviously it's looking like the winning goal. We've not really seen much of Nketiah or Havertz.
Very, very quiet. Nketiah's probably had a little bit more to do. Martinelli, the difference maker in this second period. His burst of speed and little trick manages to give Arsenal the 2-1 advantage after Rasmus Højlund and Gabriel Jesus both scored in the first 45 minutes. Antony plays it against the Arsenal defender. It was Miles Lewis-Skelly that got in the way in the end. Just a minute left to go of the 2 minutes added on at the end of the second half. Scanlon fighting for it, comes through to Eriksen. Eriksen spots a bit of space for Jadon Sancho. Sancho brings it under control and now can start his run forward, and he's got options. Can Manchester United find an equaliser in the last minute? Just caught in two minds, Jadon Sancho, whether to go down the outside or try and wriggle through the middle. Oyedele steps in, tries to make the challenge. Fish gets there, finds Scott McTominay. Now Ethan Wheatley. Wheatley to Antony. Antony steps in. He's going to have a go from distance. It clips up in the air. They're going to have to chase after this. Arsenal, it's out for a corner. And I think Manchester United are going to get the opportunity to get this one into the penalty area, and it will be their last chance, Ben.
Yeah, it will. It's a decent block, because I think that was going some from Antony. Backed off far too much. I think the keeper probably would have saved it, but the block was there instead.
Well, last-minute winners is what Manchester United do, isn't it? Here comes the corner. Loose in the penalty area. Up in the air it goes. They're going to put some pressure on the goalkeeper. It's home! Johnny Evans has scored! Manchester United will not see that counted. There is a foul inside the penalty area, and the referee has chalked it off, Ben.
Well, great header.
Bullet from Johnny Evans.
Surrounded by three players, yeah. It's Ethan Wheatley, but he didn't have... He kept his eye on it, coming down from quite a way as well. Very easy to miss time. Anyway, doesn't count.
Can't do that to a goalkeeper anymore.
Nat Lofthouse.
I was going to say, try saying that to Nat Lofthouse in 1958. It's good defending from Will Fish, helped out ably by his goalkeeper. Full-time whistle goes. Manchester United open the scoring with Rasmus Højlund. A lovely through ball to give Manchester United a 1-0 lead, strong in the challenge. That was equalled up by Gabriel Jesus in the first 45 minutes to make it one apiece at the break, but it's Gabriel Martinelli the difference. A little stop-go in the penalty area, rapid acceleration and a neat finish into the bottom corner, which means it's full-time at SoFi Stadium. Manchester United have lost to Arsenal by 2-1. Now though, Ben, we've got some penalties.
Well, it's really good practice. We saw it last year, and United converted all 5 penalties. You know, they're going to be disappointed they've not won the game. Certainly the way they started it, they look much the better team. But, you know, changes happen, and they didn't really get going in that second half once the changes had been made. But this is real good experience, this. You never know at what point in your career you may have to be in a position where you've got to take penalties in front of thousands and thousands of people. You know, the manager is going to be looking out for the nerve of some of these players, and first and foremost, who wants to actually put their hand up and say, yes, I'll take one.
You ever been in this situation where you were asked to take a penalty, Ben?
No.
Ever been in a position where you had to put your hand up?
I mean, I have taken penalties, but I think there are probably people that are a little bit more confident than me stepping up from 12 yards, but I have taken penalties before.
What's it like, stepping up there, the pressure on, spotlight on you?
Well, again,
I don't think I could cope with it.
Again, you know, you have penalty takers and you have people there that are like, yeah, I'll take one, and they're like, you just don't think they're ever going to miss. I was never like that. I always felt there was a good chance I probably would.
I've never tested myself from 12 yards. I'm far better talking about football than I am playing football. I know I'd make a fool of myself.
I'm sure you would.
Oh, I promise you. Let's not even be being self-deprecating. Arsenal have won the toss and they will take the first penalty against Manchester United. Some of the replays from that game. That goal from Gabriel Jesus is offside twice, by the way. And any other day of the week, that gets ruled out. That's a good finish, though.
It's difficult, and especially when he reverses it, goes back through Will Fish's legs, which inevitably, when that happens, goalkeepers stand very, very little chance of being able to pull off a save. Especially when, as I said, he's reversed it into the near post when you probably think he's going to go far post. But he's made a couple of wonderful saves, Andre Onana, in this game.
So, Manchester United lining up. Scott McTominay on the right-hand side. Always the one I would expect to put his hand straight up, Scott McTominay. Full of confidence. Referee just going through the final process of making sure the goalkeepers understand exactly what it is that they need to be doing. Andre Onana listening carefully. So too Karl Hein. Who's going first?
Gabriel Vieira.
Vieira steps up. Writing these down, make sure that we know exactly what's going on. Manchester United captain for the second half was Andre Onana. And we get to see what he can do from 12 yards.
Yeah, it's good practice for goalkeepers as well. You know, inevitably they're going to have to face penalties throughout the season. Hopefully not too many, but they will. Law of averages said that every team's going to concede a penalty.
Right then, Fabio Vieira versus Andre Onana. We're going to try and get inside Fabio Vieira's head. He's pointing the direction that he wants him to go. He's leaving the side of the goal open. Let's see whether it works.
I think that's where he's going to put it.
Yeah. As he got inside Fabio Vieira's head, up he steps and scores. Goes the opposite direction. And a good penalty from Fabio Vieira.
Yeah, it was. Well, you have to try everything, don't you? Because it is certainly more nervy for the taker than it is for the goalkeeper, because you're expected to score from 12 yards.
I would agree.
So you do what you can to put them off and to unnerve them.
And we've seen all sorts, haven't we, from goalkeepers over the years, from banging the crossbar to Bruce Grobbelaar's wobbly legs. Here comes Scott McTominay and finishes brilliantly into the bottom right-hand corner. Can't tuck it away any better than that, Ben.
No, that is a terrific penalty. I always think it's really difficult when you go across like that with your right foot. But that was